at the N1 highway interchange. Traffic lights also out in Midrand at the K101 as well as Allendale. If you're traveling further along Allendale Road, those traffic lights are out in Klipfontein. That's at the
Vamped with this money.
Often when mothers come to give birth, so they're not able.
Vamped with this money.
Often when mothers come to give birth, so they're not able to have a birth companion. So we are transforming our spaces.
Very interesting, because I don't think that the main thing a woman wants is just a place for her companion.
Power Lunch, weekdays 12 to 3 p.m. on Power 98.7.
So many business trends, immersive technologies, operational efficiencies, digital transformation. But how do you go about implementing them? MTN Business is here to help you take your business into the future. From connectivity to cutting-edge ICT services, including collaboration tools, cloud storage, cybersecurity, and IoT, we'll help you create and implement the digital solution your business needs to grow. Visit mtnbusiness.co.za. Today we make moves. MTN.
Power 98.7 weekends. All your favorite hit music all weekend long. From yesteryear's classics to today's hits.
I come over when he's not there.
If it isn't a hit, we don't play it. From Friday evenings with Dyantyis
Hello to the weekend. So how are you feeling? Le Chapo fella.
to late night music dates with Kanya Susibo.
I am your song selector. I'm the one behind the decks for your personal party.
And early weekend morning hangouts with AK Shabalala. We've got all your sing-alongs on lock.
Welcome to this show. You and I are going to have a fabulous time.
Sandangosha jams up your Saturdays on Power Jams.
With this good power music, we transition from the morning to noon as you solidify the plans for the Saturday.
With Khoshikgadi Rangata taking you through nostalgic music on Power Experience.
Yet another season of the Power Experience. The promise remains good music, good company. A promise that I'm making, a promise that I will keep when I get out here.
Power 98.7 music. Now we're talking. Stay informed. Power Talk with Mbuyiseni and Ndlozi. 9 a.m. to midday on Power 98.7.
We're still taking your calls, Bandana Benkosi, 0861987000 here on Power Talk. And funa nje ukudlula apha kwisidiba. Bantlayile kamo. Advocate Sipho Mantula. Njani buti?
Son of the cell siyaphila man. I can hear uzobona uMandisi abaphila abantu.
Mandisi.
Ogelegele Mandisi. Gelegele le muntu lo.
Okay.
Gelegele. No, Ndlozi man, for me the remembrance of Uncle Don Matera today is in my mind. With a line of where he say, I grow tired, I want to leave this city sitting in unrest and injustice. I am leaving. No, I have left. Look for me on the banks of the Nile or under some spreading palm. I shall be sleeping the sleep of freedom. Don't wake me. Leave me to dream my dream of departure from a city of seething unrest, void of pity. For I've grown weary of eating the brine and a long for jungle fruit. I think for us to remember Bradon is very important. And your first caller who was talking about electoral democracy and what you raised earlier. Yesterday at UNISA we had a session on reflecting on 1 year of the GNU. And one thing interesting for the young people who were there close was that they were raising the issue of not even understanding the content of the statement of intent. What does it entail? How does it benefit them on the ground? Does elderly people know what is GNU? So for me, that raises a lot in terms of how coalition governments are being formed. Is there a rush? Why our law only gives 14-day window period? Other countries, there was an example used of Austria and Ndlozi. It has taken them 151 days to produce 240 pages. We have 14 pages of the statement of intent that took 19 days. That raises a lot. And finally, the role of business in this GNU. The business plotted its 2021, long before we can go to the elections of 2024. The business has already determined what should be the outcome of those elections, even today. So the concept I will leave with your listeners is of maybe we are not living in the times of democracy, we are living in the times of plutocracy, or what you might call democracy.
But why do you insist on abdicating the responsibility on yourself to make this country work? Why the logic should always end up? I mean, we come with you. It's bad. It is disheartening, and so on and so forth. But at the end, you can't throw us in the pit.
Yeah.
Because the premise is it's our mess.
Yeah.
It's our mess, advocate. Akakho umuntu ozayo to fix it. We have to roll sleeves, all of us, and make this place work. We live in it. You can't just give up and go sleep in freedom. Freedom is responsibility, it's not sleep. Huh? You are advocating sleepism here.
Absolutely.
Somnambulist. You are a somnambulist advocate. No, wake us up. Freedom is we are responsible for ourselves.
Absolutely.
This is our mess. We voted for these people. We have to fix them.
Absolutely. We cannot go.
So every time the conversation after criticism, as brutal, as radical as it might be, it has to proceed towards, then let's take responsibility. How do we fix it? When now the poem, it's a Don Matera. Don't wake me up. I'm sleeping. Our advocate.
For that context of that poem of a departure, it is how we have arrived where we are. And I'm saying we cannot wait to be in this deep sleep and be slumbering for too long. I fully agree. And what I said to the youth, I said, let's actively engage on this national dialogue that is coming close. And like you said earlier, revolutionaries are not just in the revolutionary spaces saying fancy words. Revolution, it is grounded amongst the present generation. And that's where the power of the media and Don was not just a poet, he was a journalist also. He was also a humanitarian. So it is very important even when we have to engage on the current situation. Hence I said to you, the issue that you were raising to Selailo about, is it the issue of voter education or people, they understand but there is something wrong here? Is there the issue of the line of accountability shifting? Is where we see the role of parliament, we see the role of judiciary. And as we have said earlier, we cannot cast and paint the whole judiciary or the whole law enforcement with the same brush. And that's where I was saying, let's remember Don, but remember how he was treated at that age of 86. And the issues that the young people will always want to gravitate. And more so looking that it is Friday, it is Mandela Day, but let's not forget Brazinga.
Thanks, Advocate. Appreciate it indeed. That's Advocate Mantula. Ernest, welcome to Power Talk, brother.
How's it going?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Let's speak about our political system. The president or the elected, he goes out and campaign. He looks for money. He gets the money, then he wins. Now you must know that horse, people have put their money on it. So now you ask, who comes first? Is it us, the people? Or is it those people that have given the president that money to campaign?
Just show me, Ernest, what makes you think, which actions of Ramaphosa, policy and all of that, makes you maybe have the idea that he's completely beholden to the people who bought T-shirts for his campaign?
If you look at reforms, if you look at reforms that will benefit blacks, land reform. Let's talk about an incident like land. We can't get the land, you know? We can't get the land. You ask yourself, why can't we get the land? It's because white, Rupert, they have given Ramaphosa money. So for us to get, you see where it comes down.
But did they also give Zuma money?
No, some voting on Zoom. You know, there were people that were putting in their money.
And they didn't want land as well.
You never know. Maybe they had their own agenda, you know?
Maybe the ANC, maybe when you vote, you ought to appreciate the ANC's, expropriation of land without compensation policy. Firstly, it was never in their radar. It's not a party that believed in that. Of course, they finally resolved in that way. But they are at 40%, Ernest. The ANC is not the ANC of Mandela or that of Thabo Mbeki that controlled a commanding 2/3 majority in the House. They are not. They are at 40%. Those people in Parliament, they can vote them out tomorrow. This is the weakest ANC ever.
Look at which party they went for.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you, if we keep voting at some point, that ANC you are complaining about might be at 30%, 20%. So which means voting works.
You know what?
But the majority of the people we voted for went and worked with the ANC in Parliament. Full stop.
Know why? We all know why. It was just opposition. If you look at Mkhize, the reason why he went, he's not even saying to the campaign that he had on that he's not even. I've never heard him since he's been elected Minister of Sport.
Okay, Ernest, thank you. I think I've heard him. I'll find a clip for you. Thank you very much, my man.
Thanks, bro.
That's the Ernest Prince in Midrand. Welcome, Ndlozi.
Ndlozi.
Prince.
Mine is more a question. Is how dangerous is our president Ramaphosa? And I'm working off this premise, right? The president has moved intelligence to the presidency, basically meaning he is in charge of what needs to be known about the dangers they're looking at the country.
Absolutely.
Mkhize then comes out and says, well, we've got this and those problems, and what he does is, instead of saying, no, I'm dealing with these things, I've got it, I've got a handle on this, he says, now let's put a commission of inquiry. Basically saying, admitting to us, well, whilst I've got intelligence on board, I'm clueless.
Really?
Essentially, that's what he's saying. Either he's saying that, or he is pretending, and that's where my question is. How?
But what if Mkhize, what he's saying means Ramaphosa is not receiving intelligence? Because Mkhize says, Prince, the intelligence structures are in service of criminals. So if the intelligence structure is in service of criminals, will they give you intelligence to go get the criminals?
But that's my point.
So it means the intelligence itself that the Ramaphosa is in reception of is compromised.
All right.
So we don't have guarantees. We can't, all of us, after Mkhize's press conference, all of us follow each other and say Ramaphosa knew because he receives intelligence. When Mkhize tells you that, no, the intelligence is being sabotaged in South Africa. Does it make sense?
I hear your point.
Yes.
And hear me out. What I'm getting at is, it's been, 3, 4 years since he's actually moved intelligence into the presidency. In that period, has he not realized the danger, one, of actually having these people under him where he is not privy to everything that they do?
But what if
essentially when he was, my take is when he was moving this onto the presidency, is that he actually wanted to have the reins of everything that was in there. Now, if, as you are saying, he has moved these people on board, but he still has blind spots, then we are saying, good to know, his moves are useless. Either that, or, like I said, he is either pretending not to know enough.
I think in any case, an independent judge put there, and we stop treating these things as intelligence. That's not intelligence, that's criminality. Put them on the public, name them, provide evidence publicly. That is a good solution, whether Ramaphosa knew or not. I'm saying no one could disagree with the fact that the opportunity from Mkhize to go deeper in public, not in some closed door room with Ramaphosa, in front of the whole society, name the politicians, the NPA, the magistrates, provide evidence. Is that not good? Because capacity intelligence, you and I don't know.
Okay, allow me to use the Zondo, the recent one, the Zondo Commission of Inquiry, as a treatment for this. Many people came through and said, look, we would volunteer this information, or we would like to ask this question and that and the other question, and they were not permitted. So in essence,
they were not permitted.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Okay, let me. The one example that I can think of right now is the CEO, I think he was of Transnet, Montana. Montana went to the commission and said, look, this is what I'm willing to provide. These are the people I would like you to bring to. You said they are available. I would like you to bring them here for me to question. That has not happened. In essence, what I'm trying to get at is these commissions can be used in one way or another to basically fluff us off. And essentially, that's what I'm trying to.
But Prince, Mkhize is not Montana. Mkhize says, I mean, why is Montana not calling a press conference and saying all those things if he's really seen criminality? Mkhize went on the public. There's no stopping Mkhize. Put him in front of a judge. Let him go deeper. Let him tell us who are the members of parliament in the payroll of cartels. Okay. Who are the judges? That will, unless you've got a different solution. I don't know a different solution, and I've not heard it, except Ramaphosa is useless. It means he's not working, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's say we accept that. So what?
Okay. What I was getting at, and using Montana as an example, is what Montana said and what he requested for was in the public. It was in the Zondo Commission.
He didn't do what Mkhize did. Mkhize aya commissioning. Ocheile platform as a senior cop. The minister is reporting to Brown. Brown is reporting to Ket. Right. Ket is charged in the following way. Meda, blah, 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 blah. Right. And there are more people that are working, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't name them, and he says the parliament is compromised, the NPA is compromised, the bench is compromised, more of the police are compromised. Ramaphosa says, I can't call you in private to tell me those things in private. Let the whole of society know, because if those things are true, then we're no longer dealing with intelligence. What's wrong with that, Prince?
What is wrong with that is precisely what I'm trying to get at.
It's been 7 minutes, Prince. Let me give you a chance. Rekwe Babang. Maybe you will get there and come back.
Sure.
Tabo, welcome to Power Talk. Yeah, man.
How's that, my man?
I'm fine, Tabo.
Yes. Now this issue of Mkhize, you know? I fail to understand. I have never seen a weak president like our president, the way he has handled this matter. Mm-hmm. I have asked myself in many occasions, how come could a president, the number one citizen, heading the intelligence, receiving report like this, instead of organizing, what do you call this thing? Media briefing. Asantale ko Brazil fela. National Defense Force or Mari. Let me call the media briefing to brief them and then to fire Senzo because of the country we've got nothing to lose. Senzo Mchunu. How come can the guy Ako Hofa Mchunu leave Yamo Patelang? That is our money. I established a commission of inquiry, echo constant the country again, millions of rents. We again, every Kori at the minister, I'm acting to pay him again double salary. Ever we have to keep quiet. Instead of the guy was supposed to the guy fell with immediate effect. And then this country, we don't know. I've never seen a weak president like Cyril Ramaphosa. He's causing this country, you know what? Now, I don't know. I'm the member of the African National Congress. And when you try sometimes to talk with these guys, I mean, they have money, these people. He's working day to day with crime. And the guy, he gives you such a report. But you still, let me pause there because of
okay.
We don't understand that this president, as a member of the African National Congress, on a serious note.
Thank you, Tabo. Thank you so much for your call.
Thanks, Mkhize.
Okay. Temba in Saldanha Bay, welcome to Power Talk.
Good morning.
Morning.
I will support the president. Let Mkwanas go to that commission. Tell us who the criminals. I don't want them to be in the back room and they talk. No. Mkwanas must go there and tell us. But we must know these criminals, you know, so we know. So if they live in our area, we can know. Maybe the member of parliament who live in my area, so I know this member of parliament is a criminal. You know, let Mkwanas go there. Let those who will be accused to go there to defend themselves. You know.
Okay.
Doc, what I call it, I just call about the issues in this country that I've seen that we entertain Dutch characters, special SABC, allow Dutch characters to go to the in the SABC because I pay tax. If somebody is accused of not paying tax to go there to SABC, it's insult to me as a taxpayer. You know, these SABC must stop entertaining these crooks who don't pay tax. You know, we can't allow that because we pay tax, but they refuse to pay tax. They're being forced to have to pay tax. You know, these are people benefiting from dodgy tenders in KwaZulu-Natal.
Okay, thank you so much. That's Temba there in Saldanha Bay. Let's take a voice notes, Bantwana Benkosi, here on Power Talk.
Good morning, Dr. Ndlozi. I hope you're doing well with your team. Dr. Ndlozi, I'm a bit worried, man. I want to ask a question. Why do foreign nationals have so much power over South Africans? How does a policeman go defend foreign national at the expense of South Africans to even use a pepper spray in defense of foreign nationals? To even have a white person endorsing the so-called Abahlali Basemjondolo, giving them T-shirt to go stand against Tujula. But when they are hungry, the very same white person is not there.
Dr. Ndlozi, nope. I say to hell with the love of revolution. To hell. We've never, as black South Africans, had our country. We've never. After the apartheid regime, the foreigners came in and started occupying space, occupying jobs. There's never been a time in South Africa where South Africans felt like, okay, finally we are enjoying our country. Never. And there never will be. So, if this revolution means, sorry, we have to sacrifice ourselves, to hell with the love of revolution.
Goeiemorgen, Mbuyiseni and your brilliant team. I'm glad the lady who's complaining about cartels called in. Mbuyiseni, you can never report these guys, because when you report them, these policemen and women, they go back and tell these cartels who reported them. So all of a sudden my life is in danger. So kumele ngenzeni? Maceda nizongitshela ngedemocracy.
It's 1000 hours here on Power Talk. Thanks indeed for those voice notes. Our people's very expressed frustration and the idea really of a debate is precisely that. And let's keep teasing it out, Bantwana Benkosi. Someday we'll find each other. Someday we'll find each other. I cannot see a project that will fix South Africa if it does not start with the love for this country, the love for the people. If you're not driven by that, usisapi. Let's take the news. After that, Mandisi Dyantyis.
Power News.
Top stories at this hour. The MK Party and several civil society organizations will begin their march to the union buildings, and the application window to join the South African Police Service's Basic Police Development Learning Program is set to close. With the news at 10, a very good morning. I am Zulibanzi Mazibugo. We start here. The MK Party and several civil society organizations are expected to begin their march to the union buildings shortly to hand over a memorandum of demands to President Cyril Ramaphosa. The protest is aimed at showing support for KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Ndlozi and calling for the dismissal of Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, who is currently on a leave of absence. This comes after explosive claims by Ndlozi alleging political interference in the police service and linking Minister Mchunu to those allegations. Earlier this week, the MK Party criticized President Ramaphosa's decision to establish a judicial commission of inquiry into the SAPS, and the party's deputy president, John Klope, labeled the commission a waste of time and money, accusing the president of acting unconstitutionally.
So we reject this solution as a waste of the taxpayers. And we've had so many commissions in this country, so many commissions of inquiry, making enormous recommendations. Some of them are yet to be implemented. We see this as a waste of time on the part of the president, a waste of the taxpayers' money. He is buying time, and it's going to be no more than yet another cover.
And with less than 24 hours remaining, the application window to join the South African Police Service's Basic Development Learning Program is set to close. As of this morning, SAPS has received a record-breaking 927,000 applications. Young women are leading the charge with 527,000 applications, with just over 400,000 men having submitted theirs. Gauteng tops the provincial leaderboard with more than 240,000 applications, followed closely by KwaZulu-Natal with 179,000. Limpopo, the Eastern Cape and Mpumalanga have also recorded strong application numbers. Now, despite this overwhelming interest, opportunities are limited as only 5,500 candidates will be selected for this year's training program. Here's SAPS spokesperson Atlenda Mate.
We also have a high number of applicants that are in possession of a South African driver's license. We are standing at 261,255 of those that are in possession of a driving license. We wish all applicants the best in this process. It should be noted that not everyone will make it in the selection process. Due to limited space availability on the training program, we only have 5,500 spaces available. Those who are successful will be called to go through various assessments.
Let's shift our focus to the story now. The mother accused of killing her 11-year-old son, Jaden Lee Meek, is expected back in court this morning. Jaden, a grade 6 pupil, was reported missing on the 12th of May, and his unconscious body was found the next day hidden in a staircase at their residential complex in Vleerhof in the west of Johannesburg. He later died in hospital, and the woman was arrested last week, facing charges of murder, defeating the ends of justice, and criminal injury. Now, police say more arrests could follow, and Power News reporter Bafana Nzimande has more on the story.
Tiffany Meek will reappear at the Roodepoort Magistrate Court this morning for bail application. The 31-year-old is accused of killing her 11-year-old son, Jaden Lee Meek. Deputy Minister of Police Poli Bushielo attended the first court appearance, and she said more suspects could be added on this case.
We will be following this case closely until there is a successful conviction in this matter. And this matter, we cannot rule out the possibility of more arrests.
Flare of residents attending this matter already calling on the court to keep the accused behind bars.
We are angry. We want to know why would anyone want to hurt such a beautiful little boy? But I do believe that this person was not alone. We're not happy yet. This is just the start of, because we're still going to hear what happened to this child, and I think the other arrests will probably shock more people.
The Deputy Minister of Police shares a similar view.
It is heartbreaking, ladies and gentlemen, when you really have to be in court and see a mother having murdered her own 11-year-old. And we are still investigating, as we say, because we don't believe that this crime was committed by one person.
Bafana Nzimande, Power News, Rodiport.
And to this developing story now, the legal battle over the extradition of Shepherd and Mary Bushiri has taken a fresh twist. Appearing before the Lilongwe High Court, the couple's lawyer, Wapona Kita, argued that the grounds used to justify Mary Bushiri's extradition are legally flawed. Kita told the court that the offence of forgery of immigration laws cited in the magistrate's March ruling is not recognized under Malawi's legal framework. The defense also pointed out that Mary Bushiri had already been acquitted on a related charge involving the alleged forgery of a loan agreement to buy an aircraft, the original basis for South Africa's extradition request. The Bushiris are challenging the lower court's order for their surrender. Now the High Court is expected to rule on the matter in September. The couple fled South Africa in 2020 while out on bail and faced serious charges including fraud, money laundering and rape. Let's take a look at your financial indicators. The rand is trading at 17 rand 73 cents to the US dollar, 23 rand 82 cents to the pound sterling, and 20 rand 62 cents to the euro. Gold is trading at $3,348.52 a fine ounce, and Brent crude oil is at $69.81 a barrel. Let's recap the top story in Power News at this hour. The MK Party and several civil society organizations are expected to begin their march to the union buildings shortly to hand over a memorandum of demands to President Cyril Ramaphosa.
In power traffic, if you're traveling on the N1 South in Midrand, you can expect queuing traffic as you're traveling towards the Baklu interchange. There are some minor delays that have built up as you're traveling on Malibongwe Drive eastbound in Stradom Park, approaching the Oxford Street intersection from the N1 highway. If you're in Rodiport and traveling on Randfontein Road eastbound, traffic is slow in that area as well. That's as you're headed towards the Cemetery Road intersection. Main Reef Road eastbound in Crown City is also experiencing some delays approaching the Church Street intersection from the Langlaagte License Department. A reminder of that protest action, that march rather, that is moving from the Patco bus depot that's in the city of Tshwane heading towards the union buildings. So a number of roads will be blocked off around the Tshwane CBD, so do expect some local diversions.
Power News. On FM, online, and DSTV channel 889. This is Power 98.7.
This is Power 98.7. And now you're listening to Power Talk with Mbuyiseni and Ndlozi, 9 a.m. to midday, taking your calls on 0861 987 000.
ungade uzonzakalise xola nhliziyo yam ungade uzonzakalise xola nhliziyo yam ungade uzonzakalise ungade uzonzakalise ungade uzonzakalise sekudala noko ukhalisa inyembezi sekudala noko thula 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 xola nhliziyo yam ungade uzonzakalise.
Bantwana benkosi, bantwana bahle, bantwana begazi. Ndinomandisi apha. Puti, welcome to Power Talk.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so beautiful. It was good. Thank you.
It's been a while, actually.
Yeah.
I was thinking as I'm listening to the song, this album's timing was around COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you write most of it during COVID?
Yeah, I think probably 60% of it came out of COVID.
60%.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
What are the what role does melancholy play in your entire product?
People say I'm a melancholic person, you know, but I just think I feel a lot, you know. I feel a lot, you know. Wherever I am, I never want the struggle of our people to escape me, you know, because sometimes God and life pulls you out of that and it puts you in a better place where you can then forget how it feels, you know, to sleep on the floor. You know, I slept on the floor for 18 years, you know, until I went to university. All I say to people, I never owned a bed at home. You know, I had a mattress, you know, that I would put outside and then have to, you know, come back when other people were sleeping, pull it out, sleep, and that was my room, you know, and in my home there was about between 12 and 16 people, you know, so meaning that everything was a struggle, you know, even just to wash, you know, and you go to university and now you're in res and you have your own room and life gets better. It's you can quickly forget that reality, that there are still people in that plight. You know, there's a mother who wakes up at 4, takes a train for an hour, is work at 5, and they'll come back at home at 8 to repeat that, you know. And so I want that to live with me because those are the people I represent and sing for, because I'm that person.
So the melancholy is not so much the target.
Yeah.
It is healing the target.
Healing's
So you are busy with melancholy.
Yeah.
We pellis.
Yeah. You know, the most important thing, and we say all these things, it's just people want to be seen. In whatever situation they're going through, they want to be seen. The most frustrating thing about life is going through something, whether it's good or bad, and you have no one who says, "Ndiyayibona le nto, le meko yakho." Maybe I can't do anything about it, but ndiyayibona. You know? So when that mother hears that, or someone hears, oh, Nkhize, ungaduzonzakalisi, they know that someone somewhere also is hurting. But
Such
it doesn't
a
mean that.
powerful description of the basic being of the black condition. Yeah. Because the black condition is the ultimate subject of Thedo strip, of the death drive.
Yeah.
That self-destructive, self-mutilating, self-sabotage. And the lyrical play of the song is, don't allow the heart to attack itself. Or to attack you.
Because we've got reasons. You look at the alcoholic in your community, your drug in your community, the person who's committing crime. All of them have valid reasons. Ndenze ntoni because ndiyalamba, or anamsebenzi, or dishiywe ngumama, or there's always valid reasons for destroying yourselves. And I'm saying, we can't. We have more, singabantu. And so I look at those people in our communities, our mothers, our fathers, our uncles, who've shown strength for us to be where we are. Because if bona, they'd given up, tina besingazobalapha. And so if I can just say to that person who's holding on, to say, hang in there. Maybe not for yourself, for inzala yakho and those who are coming before you, then I would have done something, because we're full of blame, and blame is valid because there are people we trusted, or we trust, who are not delivering. But also, what about Tina namandla siwanikiweyo?
It's okay. So how do you resist masochism? The sort of macho sadistic state where now you accept an existence as a sadist, that wallowing in perpetual moments, perpetual life of I'm sad, it's difficult, we are the oppressed. How do we resist in as much as we recognize, but we don't cross the bridge of a permanent existence of complete sadness?
Because in the midst of all of that sadness, hardships, we continue to produce, and we continue to succeed, and we continue to see the light. because we are people of the light, Go to any township now. It's school holidays. Kids are playing, they are shouting, they are laughing, there's something exciting them, And when they're coming from where you're coming from, you might see the despair first, But if you sit in the corner with the guys, you'll hear positive conversations, because that's who we are.
We're here anyway.
Do you understand? We're here anyway. And
so we gotta make it work.
And we do make it work, but we don't say enough about the fact that we actually do make it work. Because think about it, someone who works as a domestic has no right in producing a doctor. But we do. And we don't give accolade enough to that sentiment that utatapi amandla of saying, and I'm going to push, and I'm going to push this kid. I didn't get the education that they got, but I can see, they don't see this kid, so I'm going to push them there.
So process-wise, melody is very different to lyrics.
Yeah.
I attended a court case in which somebody said, no, the lyrics are mine. And the court said, but that's not a song.
Yeah.
What is your source for the creation, or let me actually call it invention of melody?
Yeah.
And this one is, for me, it's too much. But where and how does a melody, does it invent itself in you? What's the source of the invention of your melodies?
I never think of those things. And I never separate them For me, it's all one. It's trying to literally take a picture of a feeling.
So
For instance,
you're trying to interpret a feeling.
Yeah, that's all I'm trying to do. You know, I'm sitting on a random day and you get a call that a friend or someone you know has lost the mother and the father and the aunt, and then there was a grandmother who wanted to come to the funeral, so they came, and also they got COVID, and in the same family, 5 people died.
One after the other.
One after the other. So in next weekend, this family that was burying one person will bury 4 people. And I'm sitting there and I go, Siti mabapile, 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 Siti mabapile. Because for me, the word mabapile has that melody. It's there. It's there. It's there. I don't need to look for it.
It's very African.
It's very African. It's everything we do comes out of that. In the African culture, I'm a course, you go to umsebenzi and I've got a problem. We said, I go, nobody knows them, and the people follow. They go, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh.
They're interpreting a feeling.
They can say I'm angry, so they're following me. You see, and I'm talking to you now, and the song might never be sung again.
Do you think essentially to push back?
Yeah.
Why not? Would a melody then, because come from umtanam out of this, today we are chat. My daughter has found love, or we are graduating.
Yes.
With an MA.
Yes.
Not just the diploma, not just the degree. Or my child has bought a house.
Yes.
Which is a different feeling from the one provoked by loss of death.
Yes.
Because death is so final.
Yeah.
But there's this feelings as well
of happiness and
happiness. I'm saying, turn from that point of view. Are you able to come with us?
Yeah.
In the interpretation of those feelings.
Of course, I know those already.
You
see, but for me, there's the one thing I do, you guys, is that thing of there's music I revere, kakulu, you know. That's why I'll always say Kantula, that's celebratory song.
I see.
You see? I don't feel Mandisi I have whatever it is to write something that's more than that. I'm of course ati jonga, and they had when someone has everything or they've achieved, they want to remind that it was not only me.
Yeah.
You see, I honor my mother. You see, and then I sing mama lobe bhala lencwadi. You know, I'm of course I do that. You see, I'm of course when they come to, for instance, that one household is going to another household and they've just gotten married, and in that process of union they go siyazala yo halala yo halala. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, but also for me, I also realize that there is a need for an expansion of our songbook. Because our music has been treated in a certain way, because it's people have just said, that's traditional music. Wait, you see. So if you say traditional music, you can put it there. Yeah. So we must look at giving it the status it needs, and always telling people that this what you are going to hear with the orchestra and stuff like that comes directly from this. That's why part of the program, I said, I want to do the Mother's Medley with the orchestra. Why, Mandis? It's going to be hard to navigate, because because I need for people to start to see that this music is as, if not more important than the other.
Let's do this.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Check it. Choo.
ubethekile na unemivumbo ukhuzukile unendumana awuwile na ubethekile na unemivumbo ukhuzukile unendumana sukuma vuthulula ungandami sukuma vuthulula ungandami sukuma vuthulula Mivumbo khuzukile unendumana uwilena ubethekile na unemivumbo ukhuzukile unendumana sukuma vuthulula ungandami sukuma vuthulula ungandami sukuma vuthulula ungandami sukuma vuthulula.
If you've just joined us, this is Power Talk with me, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, on Power 987. We're with Mandisi. Dyantyis here in the studio and taking a journey through his product for us here in South Africa and I guess the rest of the world. If you want to tell me what Mandisi's music means to you, please do call us 0861987000 and also our WhatsApp lines 0833037093. If you want to interact with him, please do call us. 8 years, Puti.
Yeah.
Ngubani la trumpet?
My sister.
Ah.
See, my sister started playing. My older sister started playing, and my cousins. I think they all started at the same time.
Horns.
Yeah, horns. Well, other one was playing French horn. Other one was playing a baritone. But my sister was playing trumpet. You know, and so they started school holidays sort of, and I followed. I was like,
8 years.
Yeah, I was just following. I didn't even know what I was doing.
Sub B.
yeah. I just followed. And I remember she was irritated. She's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I don't know."
As siblings always
do,
are.
you know. And so she was kind enough, you know. I started playing other horns, you know, like tuba, trombone, horn. But I eventually wanted to sit next to her, so eventually I did. I did.
Do you remember the first song you composed and what it said and why?
So I grew up when there are two choirs in Gqeberha, for instance, that were superstars. There was one was Matthew Singers and one was Joy of Africa. So they were big choirs. They changed us.
Choral music.
Yeah, choral music. And so I think the first songs I composed with sort of choral. So I'll take them to my primary school, since it's Dibili, you know. So ndita asocula zasidibili ziculwa ngababantu sakwenza zethu, you know. And so that's where I started.
Very daring.
No, yeah, I'm always
primary school.
no, serious. And then when the teacher was away, you know, to make tea, the choir, conducting the choir, because in the church there was a beautiful conductor as well. So I was watching this thing and I'd shout at my at them, you know. I would say we're probably the most disciplined choir. I wanted us to our uniform to be right, you know, and all those things, because we're choir boys and choir girls. So you know, be clean, you know, because that's what we saw from the choirs on stage. They were immaculate, you know. So that's how I started, and then I got a scholarship. And I went to Pearson, which was a former Model C school. And I remember coming into the choir and school, you know, and it's like, sing a school is close up. And so the teacher, daring, said, teach us a song then, if you want that. And I did. And
you taught them your song?
Yeah.
That you had written?
Yeah.
Do you remember what it said?
I don't even remember. I'm sure, Fred, in the Eastern Cape, even in the Eastern Cape Youth Choir, I think they still sing some of those songs. I can't remember, but it was always, I mean, you know, it's DB like all about, we are coming for you, we are good, you know, or, you know, the song I say, Molweni,
yes.
We sang those songs as a choir. Or Siani Bulisa, we opened with that. And so I wanted the school that I was now in high school to also, you know, mix all of that. You know, I remember when I left for matric, it was just the second song we sang was a Sisutu, Tswana or Xhosa song. We had an entire catalogue of those things, you know. So that's what I was just trying to do, you know.
It's 10:30 here. I see Khadebe Nfunu on the news, Puti. Please stay online. We're going to take the headlines and come back. We're still with Mandisi Dyantyis here in studio at Power 987. Let's take the headlines, Bantwana Benkosi. Stay tuned.
Thanks, Doc. A very good morning in newsmaking headlines. In honor of Nelson Mandela Day, the Minister in the Presidency for Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, Marubeni Ramokgopa, will join the Executive Mayor of the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, Babalwa Lobishe, for a series of Mandela Day community upliftment activities in the Metro today. Minister Ramokgopa, in her role as District Development Model Champion for the Nelson Mandela Bay, is expected to participate in service delivery, outreach and community engagement programs aimed at improving the living conditions and addressing poverty. Here's the ministry spokesperson, Lee Tampondwana.
The Minister in the Presidency for Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, Ms. Marubeni Ramokgopa, as District Development Model Champion for Nelson Mandela Bay Metropolitan, will join the Executive Mayor, Councillor Babalwa Lobishe, for Mandela Day activities at the Metro on Friday, 18 July 2025. The engagements, which advance cleaner public spaces and food security, will take place as follows. Firstly, at the Kahagama Cleanup, which takes place at Kahagama Road Drop-Off Center Transfer Station in Gqeberha from 10 a.m.
And in other news, the Deputy Minister of Defence and Military Veterans, Bantu Holomisa, has dismissed claims of a potential coup threat amid rising concerns about South Africa's national security. This follows remarks by the Minister in the Presidency, Kumbuzo Ntshabeni, who revealed earlier this week that the security cluster had identified a possible risk of a coup.
State security of any country, I guess, is always a priority. So I don't want to get involved into the reports of what comes from the cabinet, because they are privy to better briefings. So if there is anyone who has such plans, I think he or she is advised to stop that, because it has been exposed. A coup is not discussed on social media and so on.
I will have more details on these and other power stories at 11.
Power traffic.
A very good morning to you. Let's check out what's happening in your roads. We start off in Crown City. If you're traveling on Church Street southbound, the traffic is very slow as usual. Those delays are coming out of Fortsburg, heading towards the Main Reef Road intersection. There's also a 10-minute backlog as you're traveling on Main Reef Road eastbound. That's as you're approaching the M2 highway interchange. You can also expect delays as you're traveling on Industrial Road eastbound as you're from the China Mall approaching that Church Street intersection. If you are traveling on the N3 northbound, some minor delays can be expected as you are going through the Kalulis interchange, joining the N12 east. The R24 westbound is very slow as well. It's not really backed up, but you will bump into some delays from Barbara Road heading towards the Edenvale Road exit. If you're traveling on the N14 westbound, traffic is slow at the moment. That's in Noitgedacht as you're headed towards the M5 Beersnodheer Drive exit. And remember, if you come across any further traffic incidents, tweet at Power987 Traffic. For Power Traffic, I'm Lebogang Pukela.
Power Traffic.
Power Breakfast on Power 98.7.
Thinking about the life and the legacy of President Mandela, a few things stand out for me. He was a one-term president by choice. And I think that that is underrated sometimes in this country. We are so scared for people to leave. We're scared for people to step down. We're scared for leaders to change. Oh, remember the other day we were saying, Ramaphosa must be the first one that stays for 2 terms. Why? If somebody's not working, guys.
If someone feels that they've achieved whatever mission they had set out for themselves,
absolutely,
and now it's time to move on, it's fine. You've done all you could. You don't have to hog leadership.
And I honestly wish that all politicians in this country had that kind of mindset.
Power Breakfast with Tessa Dooms. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m.
In a world where business moves at lightning speed, staying ahead means embracing innovation. From digitizing government, private 5G networks, and safeguarding businesses from cyber threats, MTN Business is at the forefront of change, driving conversations that move industries forward. Power Business is proudly brought to you by MTN, Monday to Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. MTN. Today, we make moves.
South Africa leads the world's biggest economies, the G20, under the bold theme, solidarity, equality, and sustainability. But this is more than a slogan. It's a call to action for solidarity, uniting nations through shared purpose, equality, creating fair opportunities for all, sustainability, growing today without costing tomorrow. As G20 president, South Africa is focused on 3 key priorities: inclusive economic growth and jobs, food security for every table, and using artificial intelligence for sustainable innovation. South Africa, leading the G20, shaping a better world. A message by the GCIS.
Power Talk with Mbuyiseni and Ndlozi, where your voice is heard and opinion matters.
Kweli kalako twa dibonindo we Bonito.
We're still here, Bantwana Benkosi, with Mandisi Dyantyis. This one, my man, you must accept. A Methodist. Da, 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 da. Bethu umsamo apha. I want to bring this conversation before Ndilethu Bhuti. The point you're making about the black composers. I mean, I think I know of 1,000 songs we no longer know who wrote them, because they were not writing them as artists. They were naming a situation of love, of death, of sickness, of war and whatever. You come from a very strong Methodist tradition, and you developed much of your style, I think, in that Methodist tradition. And there's that problem as well there. The hymn book remains largely a composition was England. Just translated, which there's nothing wrong with it. But would you agree that the Methodist Church needs to reckon with the fact that it has had, in the 100 years or more of being in South Africa, compositions that could either be equal to the current hymn book or more?
Whenever I say that, they say, okay, it's your job.
No, they're right.
No. I've spoken to her. They say, okay, you go do it. Because and I think the formation of this thing how we label it. Composers. Thina abantu bethu bekuthiwa hayi ngabaqambi. Okanye kuthiwe uyayiqweba ingoma, because you just and uqweba means like you're just making it up. And then we developed sabana maqambi. But abaqambi also wrote now. It was a now thing. Afika umuntu in a rehearsal or in a group of people, and they would compose a song and it'll be sang and be loved, but you can't trace it, or it doesn't move from one place to another, as a piece of music that's in the score, and that is what has happened, even the contribution by the translation committee, of because some of these translations are compositions themselves.
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
But
akho silungu apho.
It example, but it as the deer pants for the waters of my soul longs after you. But hey, but amaXhosa knows ayiva le deer epend, but njengebhadi liphathula ukufuna umthombo iyafuna njalo Thixo inhliziyo yami.
That's a translation.
Yes. And a lot of people will be shocked even now, but it is a translation. But the skill and the spirit that you should have, because bataba pens for the water bataba but before lincaniwe sure, but liteni liyabhadula. There's a journey from uncanwa and ukubhadula to find, to quench it. So they were in the spirit. And there's a book ethi Zemkingoma Magwalandini where you find some letters between these men, saying, we should use this word because this one might mean this and this and this. So that even the contribution for that, so I don't blame the fact that then our music also has been lost, because in the for instance, let's talk about the Xhosa, even the Suit and the Tswana, we should have at least now 4 volumes if we're diligent enough. Volume 1, the one currently being
But then the church must give you the money to do it.
Please, man, church.
Yeah, please, church.
Presiding Bishop,
church.
Thank you, I'm here.
Thank you.
Ah, ngele yini mafuza fulele yini.
Molweni mana bekhaya. Oh. Phela kamanje manzonwabe.
Eish.
Dokotela.
Hawu.
But Mandisi.
Khadem. Yini?
Jonga, I'm like listening, I'm like, yes, ngihlala ndedwa nje. Uyabona nje. I'm excited, you know. Look, thank you for music, Mandisi. Thank you for first of all, thank you Dokotela for ukungizisapho abekhaya. Sekhaya ke Mandisi, uyazi bokusekhaya.
Yes.
Yes. Mamela man, look, you know, I just have this one question because I feel your composition style and actually I wouldn't say your healing style through your music, and I think that we should be actually looking at healing our people, giving direction as well from our own experiences as well. This is the direction that we need to take so that we heal our people. And I'm hearing you with the fact that of course or even black languages they are broad and English is very limiting. Awukwazi ukuchaza yonke into ngendlela baba ubhelile exactly what is going on. Uyabona but then ke uyabona uVictor Ndlozi
injalo
uyambona uButstombi ngizanganene ngoku yabona ngifuna ukuthi nawe futhi how do you see the future musicians nje ezizizayo ukuba ingaba umculo will be able to heal us and liberate us from this I think we're in one of the darkest abuse zethu abekhaya sikwaqhwagmaya nje isibambileyo sedakeni yabona kubi
but ndiyakuva man but mina ke before ndikiyeka ne ngifuna ukunibuza nobabini
hayibo
ikhona collaboration madoda apha engaba ibekhoyo like mhlambe ke you know
Mbuyiseni ndifuna unikukhadebe le line ikhona le line uzawuyazi yena the line that changed me ithi singafundanga nje akukho kukhala sasiphupha sibanjwe linaka uthini ethi kwabanye ngumnqa ukulala ngesonga athi uvuka usela amanzi uhamba uye esikolweni hey
come on yay come on yeah
I come from him. I come from him. I come from him. Uthi ati when you go Dolly, forget that. Khona le ndawo ithi ulishiyile iphupha likanobuhle hayi come on hi guys don't get me started about this man because
enkosi bhuti man but collaboration
mna ke ndifuna ukukuhlebela ngemanje ingoma zakho udokotela ngithi kutheni nina iduet
hayi good mele qale lina
no lento inerakhi lento mna funeka ndibizwe ingelengelo Khadebe funeka athi mamela kuthini ndiyakufuna ngoku phakame ke ukundiye yama ngolo hlobo
uzayilungisa
yama ngolo hlobo
kaloku madoda ndisese leadership ndisese leadership Khadebe ndisikhokhelo ndiza kuyi-orange le ndaba enkosi
kakhulu you made my day
Sanelisiwe, welcome to Power Talk.
Morning. I'm actually calling all the way from Cape Town, and I just wanted to share the experience that I've had with Mandisi's music. So I've got two kids. I've got a 5-year-old and both of my boys. I've got a 5-year-old who went to his concert right about last year at Kirstenbush Garden. Absolutely loved it. Now he wants to be a trumpeter.
That's it.
At the time I was actually pregnant with my now 7-month-old who recognizes his music as a lullaby. And the funny thing is, you know, when you give birth, it's like Tula Papa and all of those things. At the time, because I had a very complicated pregnancy, the song that I sang to my child was Ndiyakholwa. And it was a song by Mandisi. Sorry, I didn't mean to cry. But it healed me. And as a result, I've got a healthy 7-month-old child. So I just wanted Mandisi to know that the power in his voice and the power in his music does not only make us go through the emotions, but it also heals us. And I'll forever be grateful. And
I love you for sharing that with us, sis. Thank you so much.
And most importantly, can you please drop the 3rd album now?
Thank you, Sane. Thank you. Let's take the last one. Tutu in Orange Farm. Welcome to Power Talk.
Morning.
This is my sister.
So much.
Shang.
Yes, Putwani.
Uchilbo, you'll call.
I had to call.
It's her birthday today.
Minemnandi kuwe, Shange. Minemnandi kuwe. Sorry, my voice is not warm yet. I'll sing for you tomorrow.
Okay.
She's coming tomorrow.
Perfect.
I'm definitely coming tomorrow. And I was just thinking that I called after the lady who just spoke with you. And I also got emotional because every time Mandisi comes up, I get emotional. Thank you, Buti, for your music. Through happy, sad times, we listen to your music. You are healing. I always say, God loves us so much that he gave us Mandisi because you came to heal us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Tutu.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Come on.
I'll be front seat.
I go. Okay, perfect.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Call us. Banlo, sis.
Izinto zaselokishini. Izinto zaselokishini.
Uphilile na bendicela umzuzu wokuthetha nawe
Ubufreya chiva. Ezintwana zaselokishini ngathi they are not
no, they don't know. They don't know the skill.
Abafrey. Also, I think Twitter man.
Yeah,
because we used to write incwadi encane.
Yeah, incwadi encane.
Ubhale.
Yeah, azi ukuthi M ngoku have number.
Molo sisi kunjani uphilile na bendicela umzuzu wokuthetha nawe mna ndithi molo sisi kunjani uphilile na bendicela umzuzu wokuthetha nawe mna yabona ndikubona izolo udlula ndaphelelwa ngamandla mna kuba bendibona umama wabantwana bam yabona ndikubona izolo udlula ndaphelelwa ngamandla mna kuba bendibona umama wabantwana bam.
you've just joined us, this is Power Talk with me, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, on Power 987. I'm with Mandisi Dyantyis. Mandisi is actually Mtanenkosi. If besithetha ngoba you are a charismatic, besiba uculi worshiping team.
Yeah, no.
Your next album, what is in store? What are you healing, ministering there?
I'm calling it inhlambululo, ukuhlambulula. Because so inhlambululo as in cleansing, but ukuhlambulula as in coming clean, because I'm of the view that, and we touched this in the beginning, that we blame a lot, everything that happens to us, blame. But this album looks at my responsibility to the state of whatever is happening in my life, good and bad, what's my responsibility in my relationships, in the country, in the world, with myself, and because I think we can only build from there when you know what you do right and what you do wrong. And this is between you and yourself, though, so that you don't feel like someone is attacking me. No, it's just you looking in the mirror. This album is a mirror. You look in the mirror and you look at all, the
you have to take responsibility of that which is on the mirror.
Which is on the mirror. So that when you come out, you can better contribute.
18 timeline.
Ingoku iqala next month, August. Between August and the Untitled 31st December, because I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But that's that timeline. We are, as soon as we are finished with this beautiful concerts, we go straight into the mental state of it, because the music is there. It's just getting into the spiritual and the mental state of.
From a space wise, because the music sounds live.
Yeah.
But in a very different room.
Yeah. That's what
it's not a studio.
Yeah.
What is that? What is the
it's
acoustic that you are looking? Oh, I see.
It's a studio, but everything is done live.
Live.
Everyone is there.
Yeah.
Every single person you hear on the album is there. I don't call it drama later or the bass later.
Yeah, it's live.
No, everyone. Yeah, because I want the relationship between the album and the live performance to be very close, so that you don't feel the one is jarring, because it comes. Because also, I don't create in the studio. I document in the studio. Everything has been created already. So when I come there, I just document.
I see. Are there collaborations that we will see in the next album, or only after? I mean, in this case, look, we are hungry for a collaboration between you and Ringo Madlingozi.
I think, yes, I think I call this thing like a trilogy type thing. I'm a big fan of Ben Okri, so I look at the work like that, because
so it's a single work.
Yes,
the 3 albums.
Yes, this is for me. It feels like the last part of this storytelling, and I think then I feel like I will then do the other things that people have been asking me to do. There are people who say, Mandisi, can you record just hymns? Mandisi, can you do something with your choir? Mandisi, can you do something with the big band?
Together.
Yeah.
Masi? We will do Gwijo.
Please, you see, me and you
after
better.
Yeah, I will try be ready.
Natsoka, me and you let's fuck up Gwijo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We love you.
Natsoka. Thank you so much.
We love you. So I speak for thousands, millions of South Africans.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We love that we are in the same timeline with you, that we have you. And the circumstances of this country are, as Ringo said, in most of the time, very disheartening. But Nikona, and that means something is possible that is good about the human condition. I wish you all the best, my brother. You know my love for you.
Of course.
And tomorrow, have a blast.
Thank you.
Have a blast. Thanks deeply for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
That's Mandisi Dyantyis bantwana benkosi. After the news, sawujonga uDr. SD Gumbi.
Power News. Top stories at this hour. Government is rolling up their sleeves in commemoration of Mandela Day, and law enforcement officials have their hands full this morning in Pretoria. With your Power News at 11, a very good morning. I am Mazibugo. Today, government and local leadership are rolling up their sleeves in Gqeberha to commemorate Nelson Mandela Day, reinforcing the spirit of active citizenship and community service. The Minister in the Presidency for Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, Maropeni Ramohopa, will join the Nelson Mandela Bay's Executive Mayor, Babalwa Lobisha, in leading a series of Mandela Day activities in the city. The events will take place at the Kragakama Road drop-off transfer station and the St. Matthias Anglican Church in Gqeberha. The department's spokesperson, Lita Mpondwana, says the events will focus on critical community efforts, including waste management, creating cleaner public spaces, and supporting community nutrition.
This year's Nelson Mandela International Day is celebrated under the theme, "It's still in our hands to combat poverty and inequality." The engagements, which advance cleaner public spaces and food security, will take place as follows. Firstly, at the Kahakama Cleanup, which takes place at the Kahakama Road Drop-Off Center Transfer Station in Gqeberha. The second engagement, the Norrox Community Kitchen Launch, takes place at the St. Matthias Anglican Church in Motherwell.
And let's shift our focus now to the story where law enforcement officers have their hands full this morning in Pretoria. This ahead of two marches by the members of Umkhonto we Sizwe Party and civic movements to the union buildings. The two groups are in support of KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi and are calling for the immediate resignation of President Cyril Ramaphosa. This follows Mkhwanazi's allegations of alleged corruption in the South African Police Service, and several streets have been cornered off to make way for those who are marching today. We now cross live to Power News reporter Lerato Motsa, who is in Church Square. Lerato, are preparations well underway that side for those who are expected to march?
Well, Zweli, indeed, members of the MK party, including supporters, are arriving in numbers here in Church Square ahead of the march. Party leaders in Gauteng, including parliamentary leader Dr. John Hlophe, are calling all those implicated in the alleged corruption in the South African Police Service to be arrested. A stone's throw from Church Square is another gathering in Marabastad by civic movements under the umbrella Defend South Africa, who are raising similar issues. They are also set to march to the union buildings as calls are mounting for President Cyril Ramaphosa to resign. civic movement gathering in Marabastad will be joined by members and leaders of the African People's Convention who say they reject what they describe as the illegitimate government of national unity. Those taking part in the two marches say taking to the streets is a direct action against systematic corruption, among others. Police are keeping a close eye on the two gatherings in Pretoria. Nerato Mota, Power News, reporting live in the Pretoria CBD.
And let's move to the story now. The Deputy Minister of Defence and Military Veterans, Bantu Holomisa, has dismissed claims of a potential coup threat amid rising concerns about South Africa's national security. This follows remarks by the Minister in the Presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshabeni, who revealed earlier this week that the security cluster had identified a possible risk of a coup. Now addressing the media at a military hospital in Pretoria, Holomisa reiterated that the security of the state remains a top priority. However, he warned that more pressing concern is the potential for civil disobedience. He assured the public that the SANDF would be ready to support SAPS should such unrest arise.
State security of any country, I guess, is always a priority. So I don't want to get involved into the reports of what comes from the cabinet, because they are privy to better briefings. So if there is anyone who has such plans, I think he or she is advised to stop that, because it has been exposed. A coup is not discussed on social media and so on.
And let's move further afield, where Nigeria's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has officially resigned from the People's Democratic Party, ending a decade-long association with the party he helped found. In a resignation letter addressed to the party's ward chairman in Adamawa State, Atiku cited irreconcilable differences and the party's drift from its founding principles as key reasons for his exit, a move that comes after repeated failed attempts to resolve the PDP lingering leadership crisis. Now, his departure comes just days after he led a coalition of opposition figures into a political alliance with the African Democratic Congress, which is a major realignment ahead of Nigeria's 2027 general elections. Now, the party leader, Ibrahim Abdullah, says former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's exit from the People's Democratic Party will not affect the party's standing.
But we as a party are not deterred. We have not lost any sleep. Atiku Abubakar will be doing it the fourth time now. But suffice to say, PDP is moving on. We are beginning to get our house together. If only you know the number of persons that are calling to congratulate the PDP for his exit, because a lot of persons who all along wanted to identify with the PDP, but were apprehensive of his involvement for the simple reason that as long as he remained within the party, all the times he will get the ticket. It doesn't matter if the zoning favors the north. And a lot of persons are now calling across the strata, saying that now you people seem to be getting it right.
Taking a look at your financial indicators, the rand is trading at 17 rand 68 cents to the US dollar, 23 rand 76 cents to the pound sterling, and 20 rand 59 cents to the euro. Gold is trading at $3,348.09 a fine ounce, and Brent crude oil is at $69.61 a barrel. Let's recap the top story in Power News at this hour. The Minister in the Presidency for Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, Marupeni Ramokgopa, will join Nelson Mandela Bay's Executive Mayor Babalwa Lobishe in a series of Mandela Day activities in the city.
Power News. On FM, online, and DSTV channel 889. This is Power 98.7.
This is Power 98.7. And now you're listening to Power Talk with Mbuyiseni and Ndlozi, 9 a.m. to midday, taking your calls on 0861 987 000.
Bulana bondaba nje nabo bonke abanye mina ningangithuli ngwalapha. Awu amen. Kwakuyi-10 zikaJanuwari 1959 ngeke ngilikhohlwe lelo suku ngoba yilelo langa engahlangana nenkosi yami. Nawunaka kakhulu angiwubala umnyaka wokuzalwa kwami, ngibala umnyaka wokuzalwa kabusha. Uma uNkulunkulu angangilonda nje kuze kube u-2019 Gabateli kusho ukuthi 2019 uma ngabe ngiyobe ngisaphila ngiyobe ngihlanganisa u60 years ngisindisiwe nje.
Glory to Jesus.
Amen.
Glory to Jesus. Hallelujah.
Yilo mnyaka ke loye engicelile enkosini ukuthi lo nyaka nangabe ngiphilile ngiyokwenza celebration enkulu kabi ngoba ngizobe ngiqeda.
If you've just joined us, Bantwana Benkosi, that's the voice of Babu Kumbi, Muruti Amuhulu in the Assemblies of God, who passed on. That was his voice there. This is Power Talk with me, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. I'm in studio with Bishop Sono of Grace Bible Church. Thanks deeply, Bishop, for joining us and making time to come to studio once more.
Thank you so much for having me, Baba.
Thank you.
And for such an honor, to talk about the men that we really love.
Yes, I'll be joined as well by Ubabu Mkhize and Ubabu Benjamin Dube later on. Ubabu Mkhize is here with us in studio. Ngicela ubingelela balaleli.
I always worship the space and the ground where there are bishops and men of God.
Oh,
yes,
no.
So,
yes.
Because of my height, balula ukuzehlisa. Ngibikeza befundisa indawo yabo.
Yeah, I've got Opa on the line. Welcome to Power Talk, Opa.
Amen.
Opa is the son-in-law of Dr. Kumbi. I thought if you could just to break the ice for us, Opa, usho nje ukuthi what happened and umfundisi ushiye nini, and mhlampe then also indicate before you leave the details that relate to his send off.
Yeah, ngiyabingelela kumamameli bonke be-Power FM, ngibingelele our presenter uDokotela Ndlozi and everyone in the studio egameni kaJesu Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Mphathwa ubaba, he was not okay yena. It happened on Monday. He was just fine. Sonke lesikhathi akhuluma sihleka nako konke. And then he received a call that was not good about one of his friends. Ebekhula naye, ebehamba naye nababhengu ukuthi is not well. And after that, he prayed a prayer ethi Nkosi, cela usalungithatha manje. I'm not going esibhedlela anymore. Ngisaboni, ngiva kancane, and nenyawo alikho. So ngiyacela sokwanele. Cela ubuyele ekhaya. And after that, within 3 minutes, he changed. And safonela ma-ambulance, kwafonela everyone. Unfortunately, on 8:30, and Monday he was here.
Ebusuku.
Just after that prayer.
Our deepest condolences indeed to the rest of the family. Siyombeka nini and kuphi?
Funeral is over the standard tone. May 22 Zaga July, which is on next week Tuesday. At Sakile Stadium. Around 9 o'clock. Then today, in the first main memorial service, ikona la eSakile kwibandla akhe waliphatha iSakile Assemblies of God. And then there's the second one is the one in Gauteng tomorrow. Bandleni laka Bishop Mkhize. I believe ukuthi now Babu Ndlozi yalazi ukhe wafika lapho ahamba nobaba.
Thank you so much, Opa.
Yes, and wonke la memorial service aqala ngo-1, and to those who are far, they'll be live on GS Funeral Parlor, YouTube and Facebook as well.
Okay, thank you deeply, and singasakubambi ke because I understand kumele niyokwenza ama preparations amaningi.
Kakhulu asibonge futhi nethuba enisiboleke lona umusa phezu komusa.
Thank you. That's Opa, the son-in-law of Ubaba Ugumbi. If you've just joined us, Bantwana Benkosi, this is Power Talk, and we are going to pay a serious tribute, as it were, to Ubaba Ugumbi. I'm going to request now Bishop Sono, quite a magnanimous man, and he is the only living person I knew who had worked directly with the big giants of the 70s and the 60s and the 50s, Ngiti, as well as Bengu. But the entire faith, what have we lost in Gumbi?
Baba, we've lost a lot. We've lost a lot. And just give me time to compose myself. Let me give you the background, and maybe this is where I want to start. In the 80s, when there was the coming in of the so-called charismatic movement, there came lots of tensions between the charismatics and your Pentecostal churches. Your Pentecostal churches would be Assemblies of God, Full Gospel, Apostolic Faith Mission, and so on. Because the charismatic movement, when it came in, people would leave these churches and go to the charismatic movement. And I must tell you, as a student of history and having lived through that time, things were not handled well on both sides. So there was this huge rift. I remember at the time I was fairly young. I got into ministry at the age of 22. And it just so happened that it was a time when Reinhard Bonke was having outreaches in Soweto. So I was an associate pastor at the time in the Rhema Church, which is a charismatic church. And I went to the meeting, which predominantly was full of people from the Pentecostal church. And I remember literally being chased away from that meeting by some elderly minister who said clearly, asukufuni lana wena son. Because these tensions were real. We couldn't talk. Fast track, here comes Ubaba Ugumbi. I didn't know him at the time. I met him years later. And somehow he has a different attitude. Same as Dr. Elijah Maswanganye. Totally different attitude. Here's a man who is in the Pentecostal movement, but is reaching out to the charismatics who are considered as rogue people and whatever. And when you're with him, he doesn't judge you. He loves God. He gets along with you. I actually asked him months ago, I asked him a question. I said, but I just want to know, Baba, why did you love me? Because mina, that was not my experience. Uthi Sono, you know how to say that. Ngiye ngakubuka usangena la evangelini. Awahamba ngendlela eqotho. And so we had him come and preach in our church, interacted with him, and then as I interacted with him, I noticed the following about Ubaba Ugumbi. One, he linked across denominations. He just had this ability of connecting with all denominations, whilst not losing the tenets of his faith. He remained a Pentecostal, right? He remained with his belief, propagated those beliefs, but he can relate with everybody. Secondly, in his reaching across generations, he changed the thinking of the people, I think, among his constituency. Of course, as I said, someone like Dr. Maswanganye has always been ahead, you know. But the other thing that struck me, he just knew how to connect transgenerationally. You know, it takes an ability to be able to connect with the old and the young alike, you know. And he connected in this transgenerational manner. And then somehow he had an eye to see when someone is used of God. And magaboni sandla sikaNkulunkulu on your life, he runs to you to try and make you better. He just runs to you. And then I noticed Uguti, when people got into trouble, in crisis, Ubaba Gumbi would never say anything. If a minister fell into sin, if a church broke, instead, he would run to the people's rescue. Sometimes, at the risk of being criticized, he would stand with people who are, considered as, rogue. And he would be there to help. And then the way he embraced some of us who were like unconventional. When we came into faith, our dress code and our style of worship, our style of preaching, and he embraced us. I don't know how he did it. And then he reached to, his way of preaching was very refreshing. Ubaba Gumbi had a very humorous way of preaching, but you would never lose the truth of what he's saying. He would use those examples and all of that. He had just this unbelievable way of preaching, Now, I remember an incident where I had gone to a wedding of a pastor, and because they knew I'm coming, they allocated me I think it was 15 minutes of speaking. And on that day, Ubaba Gumbi came. I don't think they were expecting him. He came to the same wedding. So they decided, bazomnika 3 minutes. Now, I've got 15 minutes. But for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And, okay, with my 15 minutes, I spoke. People just sat there and looked at me, what is he trying to do this? Nobody moved. Doesn't matter how many amens. Sometimes when you are insisting, amen, And then he comes and speaks for 3 minutes. And he uses the very text I'm using. Baba, in 30 seconds, people were standing. Amen, but I'm sitting there thinking, but wrong, this is not fair.
Yeah.
He was one of the best textual preachers. And he preached. So afterwards, I went to him and I spoke to him. We used to joke about it. When you can convey. So he was one of those incredible people who knew how to, preach in a short way. But what I also liked, he loved the next generation. This event high Begayibizama feast. The whole concept they are saying was to try and invest in the next generation. I had the privilege of speaking at these feasts many times. And he embraced people from right across. It didn't matter. You didn't have to be Assemblies of God. And it takes a leader of note to want to make other people good.
Yeah.
It takes somebody who has a huge heart of embracing the next generation. And then I had the privilege of visiting his home several times. I actually have a very good picture with my wife and I when I went to him last year. I knelt in front of him and I said, can you please father me? Because, I'd known him. In fact, I told him, as I heard you talking Nolindilani about these olden days. Tina, I don't come from that background. I come from the Dutch Reformed Church. I don't have a history of the way God worked in olden days. I don't know it. Ubaba Pengu, I saw him once. I don't know. So
but you did see him.
Yes, I did.
I never did. Well, I'm the youngest in here.
Of course, yes. You should have remembered that before you said what you said.
Yes, I did.
And the second time I heard him is when he was praying at the dedication near the tent of Reinhard Bonke. He prayed a prayer that I will never forget. Uthi Baba, ngibonile lento ngibizele yona. Inceku yakho ingaphumula manje. 3 weeks thereafter, he was gone. Those things I'll never forget. So when I went to Baba Gumbi, I drove all the way. And I literally knelt at his feet. And I said, Baba, look, I'm grateful for what God's doing in my life. And I'm grateful for the way you've received me. But let me tell you, I don't have a history. I don't know how God worked. Can you tell me? You know? And he did. And when we went there with my wife, I asked him to pray for us. I actually have that picture. It's going to be one of my best pictures. But then as we went to his home, then we saw his health deteriorate. It was painful, Baba. It was very painful. You know, his blindness came because of the doctor's mistake. I don't know if you know that.
Yes, the laser.
And he asks me, he says, Sono, kona la babati, I must go for litigation. We're not in. Hey, I didn't know. Kiriyazi in Baba. It's a matter of your conscience. Unembeza wako. Right, Musa man. Unembeza wami awuvumi. Oh. But hey, to see him lose his leg, lose his sight, and still preach. Still, there was an event in Laekatlehong some few weeks ago. I went there where he was actually thanking people who had contributed in his life. And to see him come there, he can't see. He's working on a, on a
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Prosthetic.
Oh, a prosthetic, yes.
Prosthetic,
yes. Yeah, leg, yes.
But I think for me, when I looked at him, he reminded me so much of Pastor Ray. When you see people who have the heart of a lion and they are leaders of note, one of the things about them, they don't like being a burden to people.
Yes.
And it doesn't set well with them when they are in that space in their life where they are dependent. And you can almost see, even in their demeanor, some discouragement, even if it's not too much, but you can see they don't like the space. And that's the thing I noticed, that, he was like that. But let me be honest, I will forever remember the event we had at our church, the 29th of November 2019.
Yes.
Let me give context to that. In my travels, particularly in West Africa, I noticed how the West Africans celebrate their fathers of faith, speak well about them, do well for them. They don't criticize them. Now, we come from a history in our country, particularly where people got poisoned and it was easy to criticize Abefundis. And I remember I was praying about this and God said to me, Musa, Nina, here in Southern Africa, you are not dealing well with your fathers of faith, yourself included. And you have to have an event where you honor them. So I went to the board and we had this event. We had them from Malawi, Zimbabwe, Zambia, everything. And they came there at the church. Actually, there's a clip where he's singing.
Play it. Yes.
It was at that event after he came up
yes.
to come and speak. And for your information, I wrote this down. Baba, I've got to say this. 5 of those people have now passed. Yeah. Mtsweni, Guti, Dr. Guti, Pastor Ray McCauley, Apostle Ragiman, and now Babu Kumbi. Baba, we had a chance to give them their flowers.
Yeah. Sitting there, you have no regrets.
And let me tell you, when they were sitting in the speaker's lounge, I just sat there and kept quiet. I was listening in. They wanted me to sit with them, but I realized I don't fit here. This is another rank. So I never said a word, but then they were reminiscing about the crusade they did, where they had gone, and I was listening. And for your information, some of them hadn't seen each other for 40 years. Wow. Yes. Dr. Guti, they hadn't seen each other no Mashwanganye for 40 years. No Kumbi. Then so I just sat there and listened. And I'll tell you why, Dr. Ndlozi. If we don't understand that where we are built on the foundation of other leaders. If we don't honor the legacy of our faith, if we don't understand that there are men and women out there who were pioneers and they had it rough to make things easy for us, then we will dishonor them. And I'm grateful we were able to do that, that we were able to give them their flowers. So, you know, he was that kind of a man. And maybe I must say that what struck me as well is the way he related with people in all sectors of society, business, politicians, and he always makes a joke, you know. He would tell us, he said, I think I don't know, was it the president or whatever, he was invited to a government event. So they sent this vehicle, a blue light, blue light, yeah. And you know the way I show ngakhona uthi bangilanda labantu ngale moto enekhandlela athi ngangena emotweni mangindlula wonke umuntu uyasuka endleleni. He had this humorous way. So and then he related with people different parts of the world. Most people don't know. He preached in many different parts of the world. Many of them. Many of them. And so, but here's the part I want when I come to his home. He's a man who loved his wife.
Yes.
A man who loved his children. A man who was real about his struggles. When his son passed, given the circumstances under which his son died, he told me straight, Musa, lento ingihlabile ngaphakathi. The greatest gift you can ever get as a leader is to see a man anointed by God, used by God, who has embraced the reality of their humanity.
Yeah.
And they don't try to be a superstar, but they are very real. And I must say, Dr. Ndlozi, I can't thank God enough for this man. A man of deep conviction, a man of deep love, a man of commitment, a man who lived a life of integrity, no issues. I mean, he represented Christ, you know, and he lived his life, no issues. But he also had to deal with people who didn't understand him. But he dealt with it in a very gracious way. And so your question was, what did we lose? Who did we lose? That's who we lost, Baba.
That's Bishop Musa Sono Bantwana Benkosi. If you've just joined us, this is Power Talk. We are paying tribute to Apostle Gumbi, who passed on Monday. I'm going to take a quick break to go to the headlines with Zwelibanzi. And I know the bishop is extremely busy. I do have a key question for him, if you can indulge us before we release him. Hopefully he will say yes. But let's take the headlines, and hopefully it is the headlines. Zwelibanzi.
Thanks, Doc. A very good morning. In newsmaking headlines, the Higher Education Minister, Dr. Nobushle Nkabani, has come under fire for failing to attend this morning's committee meeting. She was expected to brief the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education regarding the independent panel responsible for selecting chairpersons of the SETA boards. The DA's Member of Parliament, Karabo Khachao, had this to say.
Essentially, we're sitting with two deputy ministers here who are not responsible for nothing, essentially unable to tell us anything that we need, because the person who's going to be able to tell us and who must be able to tell us what's going on is Minister Nkabani. And her being evasive in this process is not only a spit in our faces, because it's a waste of our time, but it's also a spit in the faces of the people of this country who depend on a ministry that's going to function properly, with a minister who understands their role as far as integrity is concerned and as far as conducting the affairs of ministry honestly.
And in other news, Gauteng's MEC for Health and Wellness, Nomantunko Moralihuku, has applauded healthcare professionals across the province as the department marks Mandela Day with the third edition of its surgical marathons. Now, reflecting on the day's program, the MEC says the initiative continues to save lives through critical surgical procedures.
We continue to transform lives through life-changing surgical procedures. Building on the belief that it is in our hands, our healthcare professionals have committed their hands to restore the dignity to many patients in the province. As we leverage on the Mandela Day theme, which is it's still in our hands to combat poverty and equity, the department has called on its employees to get involved by providing life-changing elective procedures in the name of Utata Nelson Mandela.
I will have more details on these and other power stories at 12.
Power 98.7 Weekends. All your favorite hit music all weekend long. From yesteryear's classics to today's hits.
I come over when he's not there.
If it isn't a hit, we don't play it. From Friday evenings with Dyantyis.
Hello to the weekend. So how are you feeling? Le Chapo Fela.
To late night music dates with Kanya Susibo.
I am your song selector. I'm the one behind the decks for your personal party.
And early weekend morning hangouts with AK Shabalala. We've got all your sing-alongs on lock.
Welcome to this show. You and I are going to have a fabulous time.
Sandangotla jams up your Saturdays on Power Jams.
With this good power music, we transition from the morning to noon as you solidify the plans for the Saturday.
With Khoshikgadi Rangata taking you through nostalgic music on Power Experience.
Yet another season of the Power Experience. The promise remains good music, good company, a promise that I make, and a promise that I will keep when I get out here.
Power 98.7 Music. Now we're talking Power Perspective, the Sunday edition, 9 p.m. to midnight.
Have we confirmed, Natasha, that the WhatsApp messages quoted by General Mkhize actually exist and that they actually came from the people that he said they came from?
Well, the work we did in the newsroom did confirm that. But General Masemola, he had a briefing and he declined to comment further on any of the revelations made by Commissioner Mkhize. So we don't have official confirmation, let's put it that way.
From your lips to God's ears, Natasha Marian, editor-at-large and senior journalist in South Africa, but editor-at-large at the Business Day.
Power Perspective, the Sunday edition with Johan Prince on Power 98.7. Power Talk with Mbuyiseni and Ndlozi, where your voice is heard and opinion matters.
Welcome back, Bantwana Benkosi. We're still with Bishop Musa Sono here in studio to pay tribute. We have dedicated this entire hour in the memory of Dr. S.D. Gumbi. And I say doctor because he had actually a PhD. Yes. It was not honorary.
No.
I'm joined online as well by Bishop Benjamin Dube. Welcome to Power Talk, Bishop.
Oh, doctor, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
God has been good. Thank you, man.
Thank you. I don't know if you had a chance to hear Baba Musa Sono when he was giving us the instructions he had with Mfundisi. And he specifically indicated that there is an entire background in the faith, which I think you, having grown up with these giants, might be able to take us through that moment when Ubaba Ugumbi used to be just a worshiping team member.
Yeah. Oh, man. To start with, I really just want to send my condolences to the family, Dr. Gumbi. And it's so exciting to hear even the fact that you have a general in the studio there, Bishop Musa Sono. The truth is that Dr. Gumbi was a support system for many of us, and especially when coming to the gospel music, because he loved music, you know, and he actually was a singer, you know. The issue is that he used to be funny, but firm, you know. And most of the time we would sit with him and he would say something that you know, you never expect, but you think about it. And sometimes, you know, Nyakumbula, there was one of the artists that was singing, will crown awards. And he said, "Ubani lo cula ngathi ke uyinyoni." And I was like laughing, and I told him to get Ubani, and he said, "Ah, unimthatha." But you know, you could tell this man at the same time he loves people, you know. And I must say, with my background coming from Assemblies of God, and my father, meaning my family as a whole, we are definitely, we were rooted in the ministry, Yaga Bishop Nicholas Bengo, because of my father was working under a Back to God crusade. So when he actually was coming up, and I remember, I personally didn't know him before, but then later on I realized, because we were coming from a standard tone, my mom used to talk about him, you know, and then later on we happened to connect, and he asked me to come to Assemblies of God, a standard turn, and to preach for him. And from then on, the connection here to Yaba stronger. And I'm so glad that I actually got to know him, even personally, and even to know the family. And the last time I actually we met, it was at Zanele's funeral. And I was talking to him at that time. Obviously, he was already frail. And Umama actually told me, and he said, "Hey, Ndodana, phela kasaboni," and all that. And then I spoke to him and I said, "Baba, sinawe. We are never going to actually move away." And this was a general and a gem and a gift to the body of Christ. And we need to really, really celebrate him.
I want to play a short clip before bringing in the general of gospel music here in South Africa. Just an example of a kind of a sermon, or interaction rather, he would have with the youth.
Nkosi yami khona ingoma engake ngayibona ihlatshelelwa ye-Opa ngeke ngiyikhohlwe. Angingayinaki manana. Yayishaya bo Alex lapha eGwalagwaleni. Kodwa ngabuka umdanso wakhona. Wayekhuluma into eyodwa nje lo muntu nakahlabelela. Mnike. Ngangingayinaki ngikhuluma iqiniso phambi kwaNkulunkulu. Until ngize ngibona umdanso wakho. Kuthi kanti kunikwa nani?
He had a big show on Ukhozi FM, uNkulunkulu Ndomtomsha, and I think the capacity to deliver in 3 minutes a brilliant sermon lies as well with the discipline of radio. The discipline, I know in Parliament when they say 4 minutes, you have to stick to that or they switch off the mic. But I don't know, to the gospel musicians, Babulindalani, what does he mean?
Sure, you'll be surprised, Dr. Ndlozi. Dr. Kombi, he was something and very special to each and every one of us across the board, not just on gospel musicians. You really will be surprised. Not just on gospel musicians. My career, early days, I was in Kwaito. And they were very close with my mom. For the longest of time, my mom couldn't understand what I was doing because I had started something else, but she understood I was doing something
You
totally
were doing
different.
the devil's music.
Now, actually, that's where I'm going to. There was a very big song at the moment that I had worked on, Yekwaito. And he then, service, bekangibona ngikhona. Wathatha this song, ekhuluma ngayo, wayenza yaba spiritual.
Wow.
From nowhere, and we're like, wow. Just like that. And I think that's one of the things that really inspired and motivated me to go back to my roots, which was gospel music, because I'd grown up in gospel music, but I was doing all kinds of music. The song Ibizwe Moyeni, he took that, so yeah, a spiritual meaning to it.
Goodness.
And people received Christ. Ngoba bethi bafuna ukulanda izinto from emoyeni kaNkulunkulu. He just had a way of presenting and explaining these things. And as I'm saying that he was special to each and every one of us. Every one of us has a personal story that we all can tell about Ubaba Kumbi. Mina ke ngishena something. Mfundisi wakhansela a very important engagement yakhe kuhamba umawami in 2012. What I cannot not be there. Where's our flyer? Where's Mngcwabeni? And so because bekhona yena, we had to be the main speaker. Wakhuluma ngalento manje engibona yenzakalayo. Wathi kuhambe ugalaza today. Now, what is ugalaza, mfundisi? Ugalaza is the three-legged pot. The big pot. And then he used this an example in these beautiful houses there are all kinds of pots. There is this AMC beautiful expensive pots. There is the heart the mate aphekelwa ngeheart ubaba wala ekhaya nezingane baphekelwa ngeAMC. But if there is a huge gathering, if there is the whole family, if there is the whole community, gathering in one place, iphekelwa with the big pot, ugalaza. Because everyone have to eat, have to feed off from that. And that's what we are experiencing, that's what we are feeling right now. Ugalaza, umfundisi uyibekile, Bishop Kumbi had a way with all denominations. Asazi benza kanjalo but bengena lapho ngene belwa. I remember the time uBishop bakhuluma kwakutough. Bowuya lapho kulelo sonto uzojudge uya kanjani and uBob Kumbi awahambele wonke. So this Galaza thing came from that. He is the big pot, he is the three-legged pot who covered and embraced everyone. And we are really challenged as a country, as people, as the gospel fraternity, as the Christians. Why should we realize what he meant to us and what he is to us? And it's a challenge, Bishop. I'm happy. I remember the moment when we're giving him his flowers. I'm praying and I'm hoping this coming Sunday, all the churches in this country who have embraced him, who have he will make it a Bab Kumbi Sunday, this coming Sunday.
I'm definitely going to do it.
Awesome.
I'm definitely going to do it. I'm going to actually have a 10-minute tribute just for Dr. Kumbi. We are on a theme right now. But I'm going to take 10 minutes out of that time to make it for Dr. Kumbi.
Oh yes, he deserves it.
No,
definitely.
Babu Tube, in your journey, what was the greatest you drank from your experience, no Babu Kumbi? The one single thing you say from his cup, this will forever be with me.
Well, Doctor. Ubaba Kumbi would actually affect people even who are not very close to him. And knowing very well even some of the politicians, they would hear about him and they would have actually be drawn to him because he was not a sectarian kind of a person. Njengoba Ubaba Mkhize is actually saying he would actually be there for everybody. And so for me, I saw a man who was so humble. And I saw a man that was embracing the unembraceable. And he would actually stand in companies that are a bit toxic but would make them feel, or a company that is toxic but would still make that company feel comfortable. And for me, I saw a character that is beyond just denomination and religion. I think it was more of the love that he had for the people. I mean, even a little child, he would be able to bow before that child. And you realize that there is that humility in him, knowing that he is what he is, not because he deserves it, but because of the grace that he was showing to the rest of the people. And I took that with me in saying, truly, it's not about your name. It is about the effect or how you affect other people and into the right direction. It's all about the love of God. And that I am going to definitely run with in embracing everybody and making people comfortable and make sure that it's not how I look on the outside. It doesn't actually make people shrink from me, but they need to actually be drawn to me so that they may receive what God has deposited in my life as he did.
Yeah. If you've just joined us, this is Power Talk, and we are paying tribute to Apostle S.D. Gumbi, Dr. Gumbi. The Babu Mkhize, the story that you are telling is very, very moving. Three-legged pot. I want to push you, provoke you. There still needs to be an acknowledgement of the magnanimity of that generation, Mawako, Baba, and this is essentially the end of an era. Like, he marks a certain generation and a certain tapestry of pastors, but a group of people that bestowed on the gospel something I believe you and Babu Benjamin Tube have carried in your musical tradition. And we were here last time discussing the origins of the new sound, that it's actually from the Back to God Crusade Ministries as Gababu Beng. What would be the perfect way to mark this ending from a gospel music point of view?
If you remember when I started talking, I started by saying he leaves us with a challenge. I had an opportunity to sit down with Baba, sikhuluma ngelegacy yakhe of music wakhe, which is all over and people are consuming it.
Yes.
And he doesn't get nothing for it.
And they don't even know it's his songs.
They don't know it's his songs. Clips that are all over YouTube, and it doesn't get nothing from that. So actually there is a clip where he was also even talking about that. I was reminding him we need to do something. So we are definitely challenged to ubaba sengakangena on air bishop bekhuluma ukuthi we need to really document this.
Yes.
You must. And those platforms eninazo esenisebenzile bishop siyacela nisivulele to work on this.
To tell you, Doc, we've already started with a friend of mine. We've taken that challenge.
To build a museum.
And also to interview these giants.
Yes.
We're going around the country doing it. South Africa has a rich heritage, Baba.
Yeah.
So unbelievable.
Yeah.
But and you'll forgive me, Baba. You know, I feel bad. But you go to Bible school.
You don't read about them.
No.
Yes.
We read about people kai, and yet we have people right here in our own background. So we've already started that journey. And it will culminate in the museum that we're going to have.
But Bishop, maybe as a closing question, and I hate time. Time hates me too, I guess. But it seems to me that the office of ministry of pastors is, in terms of the rest of society, in crisis from a reputational point of view.
Yeah.
And here is a man passing on. And his biggest contribution is the integrity of Office Yobufundis.
Yes.
I wonder if you would be able to say something about that for the rest of the people who say they are used by God.
Let me also say, Baba, before I answer you, you know, you got me too emotional when we started. I'm speaking on behalf of our church, Grace Bible Church, Grace Family of Churches. SACC asked me to speak on their behalf. IFCC and the Soweto Ministers Fraternal. So these 5, so I was very emotional when I started. Yeah. Look, you know, the Bible says we must follow in the footsteps of those who through faith and patience have inherited the promises. The question is, what are the lessons that we can draw from his journey? You know, once in our lifetime, uNkulunkulu gives us a leader who is a cut above the rest. And I think the best way for those of us who remain is to dip into their lives, learn what they learned. I would even go further. The Bible says we must emulate them. Force ourselves into spaces that maybe is not where we would go in our natural bent. But most of all, how did this man remain so centered on Christ? That the fact he was anointed, he was used by God, and he had such a huge ministry.
It's
he
also
remained centered.
Very brave to say, I'm ready to meet my Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Can you say that way, Nuba?
Oh, yeah.
Nkulunkulu, I'm ready to meet you,
Baba,
because you have nothing to explain.
Look, you talked about the generation that has gone before, which I really would encourage, and I really want to commend the Assemblies of God for their big contribution to the body of Christ. But I'm telling you the truth. All over the country, you see. But the one thing about the Assemblies of God, AFM, all of that, the reality of Christ, He's coming back, living a holy life, staying ready to meet your Savior. That is part of
the central message.
But which has disappeared with the charismatics. We have an excited people, very noisy people. Mara, there's no centrality of Christ in what they do. They
and being ready to meet the Lord.
No. Yeah, so those tenets of faith, that's what made these leaders what they are. And that's what we can take forward, Baba, in our lives.
Yeah. Pastor Benjamin Dube, Bishop Benjamin Dube, le Babulindelani Mkhize. When are we going to say Bishop? And Bishop Musa Sono, thank you to all of you for creating time. Let's go and give him the dignified send-off that he deserves. Bantwana Benkosi from ASEAN Power Talk, Ngintanda Nonke Makhaya. I want to leave you with this clip that he put in one of his sermons. That is, may his soul rest in perfect peace, Dr. S.D. Gumbi.
It's